right, guys, welcome to the Rumble Pack. How you guys doing?
I'm excited.
I'm
Got some
fucking
big news coming up, hopefully.
fired.
Absolutely,
pumped.
boys. The biggest
It's been a
weekend in
while.
gaming.
It's been a while for the Rumble Pack.
Absolutely, yeah. To get all three of us in the same room.
Yeah, it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah, something like that.
I think 3
To
weeks.
the fans at home, it might be the first week that they're ever seeing us, but just so that they know, there was a lot of behind-the-scenes work that's been done to bring our beautiful faces to you.
Yeah, test footage, some test episodes. We'll get those out as soon as we can.
Absolutely. But back to the matters at hand, boys. The biggest weekend in gaming, back after a year hiatus. E3 is upon us. Are you guys excited?
Aw, can't you tell?
Oh,
I am.
man.
I'm sad that Sony won't be there, but I think we'll still get some good representation from the
Sony's
partners
like
and
the cool kids. They think that they're too good for it. And you know what? Maybe they are, but I don't
we'll
know.
see.
I think the big thing on everyone's mind is what is Xbox going to do to show up at this event?
Yeah, do we want to start there? Do we want to jump right in, or should we save them for a bit later?
I think we want to build up to that. I think we want to build
Yeah.
some extents to what we think that Xbox and Bethesda are doing.
Yeah.
So, Mike, I don't know if you want to start us off, if you want to pick one of these big events that's going on.
Yeah, let's we can start with Ubisoft.
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right. So what? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, here. Let's see. Put this to chat just to run down Ubisoft. Beyond, none of this is confirmed, obviously.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say, did they put out like a
yeah. This
schedule?
is the set list. This is what they're rocking with, boys. So they're gonna hit us with a brand new gameplay, 20 minutes of gameplay of Beyond Good and Evil 2. No, but that's a rumor.
Okay.
A new, yeah, God. New Assassin's Creed rumored to be a mix between old Assassin's Creed and old Tomb Raider. Rainbow Six Extraction,
What does that even mean? Old Assassin's Creed and old Tomb Raider.
Far Cry 6, Skull and Bones seems very, very unlikely at this point.
Yeah.
That we haven't heard about that in a while. So that's what I have for rumors of Ubisoft. I can't think of. Didn't Ubisoft say? This is probably really early pre-production. They had a Star Wars game, an open world Star Wars game.
Oh, yeah, ever since EA lost the title, have we seen any
The
Star Wars
exclusive
games
rights.
from anyone else? Yeah, exactly.
We'll get to EA. They do have something, but
I'm excited
Yeah.
to see the next Far Cry, honestly. Or sorry,
Oh.
next Assassin's Creed. I mean,
Yeah, I
Right.
wonder what that means. Because I haven't played an old Tomb Raider game. I know what the new ones are like, but I'm curious what you guys think that might mean to be a mix between old Assassin's Creed and old Tomb Raider.
I'll go first here. I think I was kind of like, what the fuck does that mean when I first read this? Granted, just a rumor right now. I think I'm more excited about the old Assassin's Creed more than I am old Tomb Raider. It's not like there's an extensive history of extensive reboots of Tomb Raider, I feel. There was the top down that we had, but I don't know. Old Tomb Raider to me is heavy exploration and platforming and puzzles and crazy physics and whatnot.
So, yeah, to me, I think that kind of sounds exciting just because old Assassin's Creed seemed like it had more of a focus to it in terms of its mission structure and everything like that. And the best part about Assassin's Creed, in my opinion, or one of the best that sets it apart, is its free running system. And if they really build a game that is, focused around free running platforming, it seems like it'll be a better Uncharted in terms of at least like the climbing around and everything. If they can actually add a good challenge, kind of like that 2008 Prince of Persia game.
Which one was that? Was that the animated one?
Yeah, so it was the one where, it was basically just platforming challenge after platforming challenge. Not really a ton of combat, just very rhythmic, like getting through the levels. And I think if they do that with Assassin's Creed, that could be awesome.
Yeah.
I hear that when they say they want to go kind of old school, they're going to pull back some of the RPG systems that have been kind of the focus of the new entries. where it is more open world RPG than it is Assassin's Creed game.
Right.
So I wonder if it's a more narrow in scope, less open world, less like checkbox, hundreds of different locations. They're all kind of samey and more focused. Maybe stealth driven would be cool. I do like where they've gone with Assassin's Creed. Better than Far Cry, I think, in terms of the open world RPG type gameplay. So I'm hoping that if they go back to like Assassin's Creed, that they have something to kind of still fill that gap with the open world checkbox. Grand scale adventure, which Assassin's Creed has become. I mean, those games are pretty big in scope and pretty grand in terms of the story they tell. So I hope they can keep that and kind of scale in the gameplay, focus in on what made Assassin's Creed great to begin with.
Yeah, I really I am curious because a lot of people were saying after Odyssey, the one thing they wanted in Valhalla was a more focused, tighter experience, and Valhalla ended up being longer and more bloated than Odyssey. I think Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed has always had that mission structure variety issue. I thought Brotherhood did a very good job at, there was the tank mission. There was a lot of variety in how those missions were tackled. Obviously, the trailing missions still to this day are in Assassin's Creed games, and if they can find a way to get rid of those, that would be those original Assassin's Creed games were a bit unique at the time. It wasn't exactly map marker checking, but it kind of was.
In some ways. I mean, look, as much as we like to say we love Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood and all that kind of stuff and what they did, if you try to go back and play Assassin's Creed 1, that game is a slog, dude. So I hope that they're not going too far back, because that game is so incredibly repetitive and really only sold at the time based on the couple new things it did with its combat and its free running.
Because of Prince of Persia, more or less, honestly.
You guys have any hope for Splinter Cell being announced?
Oh my god, dude. My hope has been dashed time and time again when it comes to Splinter Cell, so I don't want to get them up because it's like a bad ex-girlfriend. Like, oh, I just keep going back just to get hurt again. But if they can make a good Splinter Cell game, or just a promising trailer, just show me a logo or something, like, yeah, that could get me out of my seat, maybe.
Wasn't the last one they did the mobile game?
Yeah, what was it? It wasn't even a whole mobile game. I think it was literally just Sam Fisher was a playable character in like an XCOM mobile game. We haven't. I think, Mike, you touched on a more stealth-driven. We haven't had a stealth-driven game in a while. I mean, you can go to Dishonored and maybe Deathloop coming out.
No, they're not big sellers, I don't think. That's probably why they want to stay away.
I think we can touch on this with horror as well. It's the reason why they go more action-y. The regular horror games supposedly are niche, but when done right, they sell really well. So, I don't know. I thought there was a time where stealth games were huge, really, really big. Because everyone's favorite mission in Call of Duty 4 was all ghillied up. I really would like to see a new Splinter Cell game. Something with because Conviction was some of the most fun I've had, honestly, in a game.
Yeah.
Even if they just said, "Hey, we're gonna redo Conviction. We'll remaster Conviction. Let's see how it sells."
Yeah,
I'd fucking buy the shit out of that.
Did you ever play Blacklist?
No.
I haven't played any Splinter Cell.
Was that the next one?
That was the next one, yeah. And it played basically like Conviction, but without any of the soul. Like, the story was just kind of like, felt more like a, general Tom Clancy global espionage story, whereas Conviction had that story where it's like Sam's trying to find his fucking daughter. Like, and he is just a guy in like a turtleneck sweater and a gun, and he is going to infiltrate this mob hideout, and he is going to infiltrate the White House and by himself. and it doesn't matter. He's gonna find his damn daughter. It was so good.
The story was awesome. That one mission at the end where you had unlimited marks and you were just going out. I was like, dude, you've gone full dad mode essentially.
Yes, dude, you've gone full Taken.
Rainbow. So I got a little excited when I saw Rainbow Six Extraction because I always thought that the Rainbow Six games were some of the best tactical first-person shooters I've played. I played Siege when it first came out because I was so pumped there was a new Rainbow Six game. And Terrorist Hunt was cool, but it just lacked anything. And then it went the competitive shooter route.
And it's still doing very well. Siege.
It's still doing very, very well.
Yeah.
But like going back to Vegas and Vegas 2, fuck, those were fun. So unless this is just going to be an expansion for Siege.
I'm curious what you mean by it went the competitive shooter route. Is that like is that a knock coming from you?
A lot of people, I can't say it's a knock. It lacked that. I just remember all the different maps in Vegas 2 for Terrorist Hunt and how, you really had to be careful. You got new armors, you leveled up. It was a big co-op game.
Yeah, I think you could play those games more casually than Siege. Like, you can't really casually play Siege from what I can tell.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Casually. That's the kind of where, unless you want to stay and play with other players and get really good and coordinate with the team. I mean, I like the two to three people coordination of trying to eliminate a bunch of NPCs in a terrorist hunt on realistic difficulty. I think that's more of a challenge to me than... I'm not one for online PvP, honestly. So I don't know if any of you guys have any history with Rainbow Six games, but I'm kind of excited to see what that might be.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I haven't played Rainbow Six before. I mean, generally speaking, my first-person shooter repertoire is lacking a bit. But, Mike, you said you were excited for Far Cry 6, and I want to know why.
I meant to say Assassin's Creed.
Sorry.
I got them conflated in my head.
I'm excited for Far Cry, though.
Some Giancarlo Esposito?
I haven't gotten into one in a while. Giancarlo Esposito is awesome, so I hope that they use him properly. Was he in the gameplay reveal at all? Like, as his character?
Yeah,
I know
it just
he was
looked like him.
But I know he was in the CGI. I don't know if they had, like, gameplay of him.
Yeah,
or, like, a cutscene, like, with him in it. I don't know if they showed that, but... yeah, I mean, know what we're going to expect. They seem to be leaning hard on those companions. The little dog without his hind... He's got, like, paralyzed hind legs or, like, no hind legs, and he's in the little... Did you see this, Kev?
No.
Oh, my God. It's
I saw
pretty
one
cute.
thing...
It's pretty cute, but it's very, like, they're trying to go viral almost. But it still is. Like, I watched the clip of, like, 2 minutes of the dog's animations. He's fucking cute. So we'll see. I mean, that's not a game I'd buy at launch. I do have GameFly, so I'd probably get in on GameFly, but I want to see where Assassin's Creed is going. Not, like... with the direction of the franchise, but location. Where do they pick for the next installment? Because that's always exciting.
Yeah.
I would like to see... I know they always do something historical. It would kind of be cool if they did some historical with fantastical elements. I kind of like Bloodborne in a sense,
Yeah, it would be cool.
Going back to Far Cry 6, the only thing I kind of seen was the grenade launcher reload, and I thought that was the coolest fucking thing. Like, individually putting in and it's like this big gun. I don't know, it has... Mike, we were talking about what next gen game is. To me, it has that next gen look. It's just the floor has been raised a bit because they have more headroom. Right. Colors look good, a little more... it still looks like that Ubisoft game where there's the lack of texture still, but it looks better, I'd say, than the previous games. I haven't gotten into a Far Cry game since 2 because 2 seemed to have the most... Yeah, I played 3 and I played the co-op a bit, but the whole open world thing kind of... It didn't intrigue me as much. It seemed very, checkmark nature, while 2, I think it didn't really have that. You really had to explore in the way the maps worked. It was a very... If we're going to say Far Cry 3 is like a pop game because it's, it's very accessible and easy to come in. Far Cry 2 was not. It was very artistic and focused. The fact that the physics and everything worked better in 2 than it did in 3. So I don't know what happened there. It was just grittier. I think 2 had a much grittier feel. There was way more, those animations when you get shot and you're at low health, and it's gruesome in 2. And 3, it's like, we'll see. It does seem like Far Cry is continuously going into a more pop mainstream route. So I'm excited to see what happens with it because it looks the most different, but I don't know. Those open worlds are so bloated.
Right. Yeah, and that's basically because I haven't played 2. I played 3, 4, and the Blood Dragon or whatever that one was. That was pretty fucking crazy and cool looking. But yeah, 2. I mean, Blood Dragon just felt like they gave the game to some modders and like let them go crazy for a year. It was just like make this thing look weird as hell. But yeah, from what I've heard, 2 was basically just a lot more punishing than basically any other Far Cry game. Yeah. Whereas, and I think that makes sense that's why 3 is the one where, in my opinion, you started seeing Far Cry everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the game that gets popular is way worse than the previous one, which is way more focused, and you have malaria.
Right.
Which is probably what everyone remembers. I remember diamonds and malaria.
Yep.
Let's see, do we have
the girls'
one
2
more?
best friends?
I think that's it from Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Skull. I mean, let's be honest. If Skull and Bones shows up, I'm gonna go fucking crazy.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Cause
that'd be cool.
I keep seeing videos of Sea of Thieves in my YouTube recommendations, and it's awesome. But I'd like to see a little more RPG in that. Just a little more reward for doing it rather than just gold. It's cool to live the life. I watched this dude. He had a 5 million haul. He played for 30 hours straight with this buddy. Dude, their whole ship was lined with treasure. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, that makes me feel like this world is alive. You're just sleeping on your boat. That's a cool immersive thing. But,
yeah.
And it has that cool art style to back that up. But I'd like to... we'll see. Hopefully Skull and Bones, if it shows up.
So cool. What do you mean, like, other than gold? Like, what kind of rewards are you talking about? Like, just gear or aesthetic stuff or what?
It's all cosmetic in Sea of Thieves. So there's 3 different ships. There's a sloop, which is for 1 or 2 people. Then there's I forget the other 2. There's a galleon, and then there's one more. There's a 3-person, then the 4-person, like, big ship. But you don't unlock upgrades for the ships. There's not like, oh, you can get more cannons, or the cannons can do more damage or something like that. It's all cosmetic. Different skin for the ship, different skin for the cannons, different hook, all that. Which is really cool, honestly. But it would be nice if it also supplemented a progression of some sort. Something to keep me hooked. I'm not asking for something incredibly hardcore, but like just like a talent tree for a ship. I know it's designed a lot around people coming in so they're not completely at a disadvantage to other pirates and whatnot and other ships.
Right.
But at the same time, I get that people want this to be skill based. It's like, well, yeah, if you've put 1,000 hours into the game, you should get sunk. You should sink the fucking noobs. But at the same time, like, I don't want to even waste time with them. It's like someone that's an hour into playing, I'm 1,000 hours in. I want to fire 1 cannon, put a hole in, and that's it, kind of thing. Like, yeah,
and make them hate the game.
Yeah, I've got. Well, more like, he's got a big dick. I want the big.
Yeah,
dick.
I'm trying to.
Like
this one weird trick.
Because that's what I thought Classic WoW always did. Is like you got wrecked. Like if you got one shot, you would be, oh shit, that guy's got sick gear, and it makes you want to get that gear instead of like, fuck this game, dude. So.
Right. Mike, I know you played a lot of Sea of Thieves with Kev. What would you want to see from a sequel?
Or another pirate type game.
Or another pirate type game.
I have to agree on the progression stuff. It didn't feel
that turned you off.
It didn't feel satisfying to do anything in the game for me. It was all about like exploration and like the feeling of like going out and like finding treasure. but there's nothing to do with it that felt meaningful to me.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd like to see from Skull and Bones, and it's Ubisoft. You know that they're gonna have 100 XP levels, and then you're gonna be able to buy something from the microtransaction store that's like double your XP, so you can progress faster.
Right.
But,
and
we'll see.
Ubisoft
I hope that there's progression like that.
Ubisoft has the infrastructure to do this, because I know in Assassin's Creed 3 and then more so in Black Flag, they already had that whole, like, you know, pirate system, like with all the ships. I don't know if you guys have played both or either of those games, but I remember the combat on the ships in 3 feeling, I don't know, just really stiff. And I mean, when you're pilot or captaining a large ship, like, maybe that's just how it's supposed to feel. But yeah, I don't know, ship to ship combat done with a big Ubisoft budget. I mean, that could be freaking cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I think honestly we might be able to make a video on Sea of Thieves, but I put a lot of time in. I really enjoyed it a lot. I got past at first the no progression is really disappointing, but then when you get with friends, I remember me, CJ, and Mitch, we all went on an adventure together, the three of us. Oh my god, it was we did it for like 3 hours. We got treasure, and then we fucking sank our ship. We're all playing instruments at the same time, and I thought it was the funniest thing ever. Those games, like a game like that, because I love the art style. Skull and Bones is probably gonna have a more realistic thing, which I don't know how. I think it's the reason why we don't have a hardcore pirate film. Like, Pirates of the Caribbean is the kind of pirates we want to see on. It's entertaining, and that's what Sea of Thieves.
Swashbuckling.
Yeah, that's what Sea of Thieves kind of is, and I like the combat in Sea of Thieves. I really like the ship combat is awesome. There's so much skill involved. But what got me hooked is we would park in this little like alcove thing, and we would dock the ship and just fish off the ship, and it was just like, it was so chill. The game's all about living the life, which I really like. A lot of people, that's not for a lot of people, but if you can get into that and kind of role play in it, it's definitely a great experience. But even with that, there should still be a bit more. They have added a lot, but I would just like a little progression in some sort, so it's not completely horizontal. But I guess we can move on to who do we got next, Mike?
Next on the list is Gearbox, but I don't really have anything to say about Gearbox. I don't know if you guys do.
What did I Borderlands spin-off? That's what I have here in my notes.
Another one?
Could care less, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm curious how you guys feel about the Borderlands franchise in general.
Today I was just about to ask that, Steve.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I can go then.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike, because I know.
Played the shit out of 2 and hated 3. So there you have it.
I think that will be just about everyone's opinion, so we can stop there. No, honestly, I'm the same with Mike. One was awesome at the time. There wasn't a game like it. It was the closest thing to WoW I've ever played on a console. And then 2 came and had an incredible villain, Handsome Jack, one of the best villains ever.
So funny. The writing was the characters in 2 were so good.
One of the moments that stick out is after Handsome kills, spoiler, Mordecai's bird. And then after the boss arena, he's like, God damn, I was supposed to have violins and everything playing right now. It's going to be great. And then he gets like this busted violin playing. It's great. Butt Stallion says hello.
Butt Stallion.
And then 3 just felt so lifeless. The writing was terrible. Who's the girl?
Dude, okay.
Hates?
Thank you, because I remember playing 3. Like, I played 1 and 2, like, on my own, but I was playing a friend's copy of 3, and I was like, why is the writing annoying me this whole time? It's all that just like lol, so random shit. And I was
terrible.
Like, has this how it's always been? I just played the first one in high school and like thought it was cool.
No,
or did it actually get worse? Okay.
No. It was always, they had the very clever not they didn't use expletives in any of very rarely. The best way I can encapsulate their humor is like dry. There's in Borderlands 2, there's a quest between these two people. This one guy likes this girl and he writes a poem, and then you show up to the girl, you give her the poem, and she's like, "Oh, thanks." And she closes the door and kills herself because the poem's so bad. That's Borderlands humor done right and done really, really well.
Right.
That's the funniest shit ever. Borderlands 3 is cringe. It's very, very cringy.
So was the problem mostly from the writing then?
No.
If you guys both play all the way through it, or was the gameplay also lacking?
It was the same as 2. They didn't do more guns, different kinds of guns.
Right, the numbers were bigger.
Yeah. There's like the gun that like walked. I don't know if you remember that from the promo trailers and shit.
Yeah.
I played it for maybe 3 or 4 hours, and I was like, I've played hundreds of hours of this already. It's Borderlands 2 again, but if Borderlands 2 was bad. So it's just like, I can't.
The classes weren't... I love the... I can't criticize the talent trees, because I love the talent trees to death.
Yeah.
I mean, my biggest complaint is that they still haven't gone with a gear system. Everything's based off of guns. Kyle tried to explain it to me and how you gear up essentially, and it's not clear. It's very inaccessible and hard to understand. And I think, wouldn't it just be better if you had a gear system so you get shoulders, legs, pants, helmet, and you did the classic white, green, blue, purple, orange tier system for the gear, and then do that have tier sets, because I feel like that would have been the natural progression for Borderlands. Instead they put everything on the guns.
It's all on the guns.
And it's like the shield, and it's not fun. You don't feel powerful. And the higher they also this pissed me off too. They released a big nerf to XP gains on the highest mayhem difficulty or whatever it was. So essentially it was 10,000% more experience, so you can max cap characters really quick. I love that. They nerfed it. I'm like, dude, this isn't fucking World of Warcraft. Yeah. You don't have to nerf this.
I'm in this world by myself. I'm not ruining it for anyone else.
Right. Let me cap my characters fast. So they did everything wrong post-launch. I couldn't get back into it. So I don't have much hope for that series.
We'll see. Well. Yeah, it sold like hotcakes. So we'll see what happens at their showcase. If they have a spin-off Borderlands, I'll give it a chance, but not too excited about that.
I feel like a lot of games right now are selling the most in the franchise, but are the worst in the series.
The hobby is the industry is just doing incredibly well right now.
It's growing so much, but the games are worse. They're unbelievably worse.
Steve, Square Enix, Verizon, Capcom, or Bandai Namco? What do we got?
Ooh, let's go Squeenix.
No Verizon? You don't talk about Verizon?
I'll talk Verizon.
What does that mean, Verizon?
I don't know. Yeah. They have 45 minutes. I have no idea.
Hold on. I'm looking it up right now. Verizon video games. Let's take a look here.
I mean,
they got Godfinger. That was a Pocket God, 2009.
Wait, the app?
The mobile, yeah, the mobile game.
Here we go. Verizon.com/gaming. Press play with the power of 5G. Are they just literally gonna have a 45-minute 5G?
Oh yeah, maybe they're gonna talk about what 5G enables.
Revved up and ready to compete. We're an official sponsor of the Rocket League Championship Series. So we might see something Rocket League. Which if we're gonna see some Rocket League, Rocket League. We need to get back into that.
Jesus Christ.
Mike and I, that's easily the most hours we've ever sunk into a single game. Well, besides World of Warcraft for me. But yeah, I mean, it's close to 1,000 hours.
Yep.
If 5G does some cool stuff with gaming, that's cool, and it's only 45 minutes, I guess. So, but yeah, I'm a bit lost on having an opinion on a Verizon E3 showcase. I really just don't know what to expect. I hope they blow me away. That'd be pretty cool. They come out like winners of the show.
But what about Square, Steve? As Mike asked.
What are they showing, or what are the rumors on that?
Oh, I get it's got to be Forspoken, right? We got to see something from that.
Forspoken, which is
That
a
looks fucking cool.
PlayStation console exclusive.
Is it? I'm not sure. It looks fucking cool.
Yep, Forspoken. Final Fantasy 16 we might see again in some capacity. They'll probably
Final
show
Fantasy 7 Part 2.
7 they'll. I don't know if they're ready yet.
They might show something about 7 Intergrade.
Because
They might show the
Intergrade's
same
not
thing.
out. Intergrade will
Soon,
not
right?
be out by the time this.
Have you seen Forspoken though, Steve?
I haven't seen much about. I mean, I've seen.
They released gameplay of it.
It looks
I
cool.
have not seen that actually.
Oh man, it looks really.
It
It's
looks cool.
It looks very video game. I'll say.
Okay.
You're just kind of jumping through this big open world. You're flying. It's really cool. You got magic powers. It's like someone just decided to put the video game in. It's the first Square game I'm ever kind of looking at because I don't like their games.
I wonder if we'll see a Tomb Raider game.
Do we? Oh, they had such a neat little
What?
trilogy.
When did Shadow come out?
If they're gonna, they should do another one. I want them to, but I would like.
Tomb Raider, yeah.
Once again, I'd like that to be.
2018.
I'd like
Been
that to
3
be
years.
more like the old Tomb Raiders.
Mm.
The last one was so Ubisoft like. I'd rather just keep it a tight knit game or just have very little dialogue. To me, I look at Lara Croft just as she's on her own. She's going after treasure. She doesn't have a big gang or a big crew.
Yeah.
She's very lonely and isolated, I feel.
Just kind of like a badass, just going in there doing her thing. Yeah.
So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see explore the character. I didn't like the interaction she had.
Yeah, I mean, from Square Enix, I mean, I just want to see where Final Fantasy VII is going. That kind of has all my attention, and if they don't show anything about that, I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to be very disappointed.
Well, there's also, I guess we could throw this into Square because Final Fantasy is Square. The Team Ninja, Souls-like.
Oh, that's
Final
the
Fantasy.
Souls one.
Yeah.
That's rumored. Obviously, you guys know how I feel. I'm pissed that we're not getting Ninja Gaiden 4.
Yeah. Could be cool though.
Could be cool. Yeah. Honestly,
Darker
if they,
take on Final Fantasy.
yeah, or I want to. It would also be cool because Final Fantasy kind of has fast-paced action, right?
Yeah, it's pretty
Now it
flashy.
does.
Yeah,
Now it does.
It's flashy. Yeah. So, if they were tasked with keeping it in the same energy and same style, but also creating a difficult Souls-like kind of game, that might lead into a Ninja Gaiden 4. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Sounds good to me. I think it could be exciting.
I would like to see a more like Neo 2, how fluid the combat became, where I always said that this shouldn't be a Souls-like game because the combat is way better than any Souls game.
Right.
If they were to just take it to like a real action slasher, like Devil May Cry almost, but Souls-like, that would be really, really cool.
Yeah, and I feel like Ninja Gaiden is kind of that like middle ground between a Devil May Cry or a Bayonetta and something like a Souls-like. So if it
was
plays
the
like
original
Ninja Gaiden,
Souls-like, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, right. So yeah, if they can get it to play like that, I mean, do you even need a Ninja Gaiden, or do you just want it to have the name?
It depends. Honestly, because like the first Ninja Gaiden is amazing, and Ninja Gaiden Black, and if we could get something like that again, that has exploration, a cool shop, upgrades, but not in that Souls-like way. I don't know. It's very unique. I guess Ryu has a very distinct moveset, running up walls. I forget that he like spins. It's in. They added it into Neo.
Okay.
When you fight, I can't think of it. I'll look it up. But yeah, I'll say this, Steve. If they go that more actiony route with it, it would satiate my void for
Right.
for a little bit. But if they can come out with a banger Ninja Gaiden 4, that'd be great. Because the Master Collection's coming out soon.
Does Square Enix doesn't make Ninja Gaiden, do they?
Azuna Drop. Oh, sorry, what's up?
Yeah,
No, that's Team Ninja.
Team Ninja,
Yeah, Team Ninja. And okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Mike, is there anything you're hoping to see from Square Enix?
No, I wonder how far out Final Fantasy 16 is.
What is 16? Sorry, I have no idea.
What is like?
I don't know where they are in this. What was 15? Was that the one with the guys in the car?
Yes.
Yeah, 15 was the guys in the car.
And
That's
this
about all
one,
I know about it too.
We don't really know what this one is, other than that it's the next main line. It's console exclusive, at least timed for PlayStation. And it's Final Fantasy. I mean, that's huge. That's huge. I loved 15. You guys know I loved 13, but that's a really divisive. It's very divisive.
I have no idea.
Hot take.
I don't know what any Final Fantasy game is. This series can die for all I care.
We don't know. We don't know what 16 is going to be like, but I haven't played one of their games that I don't like.
Okay.
So we'll see. I mean, I don't know if they showed gameplay or it was more like kind of cutscene stuff in the last trailer they showed, but they had a trailer. I mean, maybe it's closer than we think. So I'm curious if we get a date or a window for that. Because that would excite me. And if we saw a new Tomb Raider, I mean, those games are awesome. The Tomb Raider reboots.
Do you think that they do Uncharted better than Uncharted does?
You know, for sections, I thought it kind of hit that same thing as Uncharted. These big sceneries.
More fun, I think, Tomb Raider.
But it was more video game.
It's more of a video game.
Like, the combat felt so much better than Uncharted. It was way more intimate, I thought.
But Lara's not as good as a protagonist. The stories are never as good. The writing's not as good.
She's not as.
But you've got upgrades, exploration, looting.
I think the way that she was written, she's not as good. Because the original games weren't about her talking and holding her own in a scene. It was just her about flipping through these dungeons in Indiana Jones. Which is why I said it would be cooler if it was just her and there was a lot of quiet and we got a lot more through her body language. I feel like it would be a bit more niche, but I think that would be a better, just to explore her character. That's the way to do it.
Okay.
Oh, that's Warner Bros. Warner Bros. Okay, maybe we'll get into them. But one last thing on Square. Mike hasn't played a game by Square that he hasn't liked. I've yet to play a game by Square that I have liked.
We'll see what they've got to show. Kev, your pick next. We've still got Xbox and Bethesda on the docket. Nintendo, maybe Bandai Namco, and then you can pick one because Bandai Namco will probably be.
I don't know anything about them.
I think it's really just Elden Ring.
Oh, right.
That's really it.
No, so this is one that I think a lot of people are excited for this. We're gonna talk about Warner Brothers. That's what we're gonna talk about right now because there's a couple here.
Wait, are they there?
Yeah, Warner Brothers is gonna be here.
But I think it's called Warner Bros. Games Back for Blood, and it's only 30 minutes long.
Right. Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see Warner Brothers pop up somewhere else. Even so.
Okay.
Right. Rumors or whatnot. So I've got the main game that I want to talk about with Warner Brothers is Hogwarts Legacy because we've heard fucking nothing about this, and this is
true.
Dude, if we got a sick Harry Potter multiplayer game where you're just kind of living the life, going through Hogwarts, going to class, dude, this would be the fucking shit.
Yeah, that is an awesome world. Like the Harry Potter world is so fleshed out.
Yeah.
Do you want the the high school sim type elements to it? Like, because my mind immediately went to Persona. If you had Persona in like this established universe, oh man, and you're picking like who you're hanging out with after school, and you're exploring the grounds around Hogwarts. I don't even like Harry Potter, and that sounds awesome.
I would like it just multiplayer, almost an MMO, because like imagine like I've got potions, classmate, and then it's just like this real world. You have to you get online for class or whatever, and then you're like, dude, fuck this school. You get on your broom and you just take off. You play some Quidditch with the bros.
Yeah, you and your
Are
Slytherin
you a Harry
guild.
Potter guy, Steve? Are you a big Harry Potter fan?
I mean, I've watched all the movies and I like them a lot. I haven't like delved too much into the rest of, I don't know, the content around it. I took the Pottermore quiz. I got a Gryffindor. I got a wand made of a phoenix feather. But yeah, I mean, dude, a Harry Potter game. I mean, that world is so fantastical, and I think that the creativity that goes into it does set it apart from a lot of other fantasy worlds, even though it does rely on a lot of those like classical mythical beasts and creatures and everything. I think it is taken in such an interesting direction, and I think that those books and movies do a great job of actually putting together mysteries. And I think that a game where you actually have to explore and unlock, like imagine you had never seen Chamber of Secrets or something, and you had to explore this castle, and the Chamber of Secrets was something that you could totally miss unless you like put together these hints from all over the school. You know what? It could be done super well. I just don't know anything about this fucking game to
me
say
either.
if it's going to be something like that.
Because how cool? It? Avalanche Software.
Did they do Mad Max?
I think so.
The other thing I would say about an open world like if it does take place in Hogwarts is that I like the fact that that's pretty bounded. You know what I mean? It's not like Assassin's Creed Odyssey where it's like they could theoretically just do all of Greece is your map. Like the fact that they have to keep it to this school and the surrounding campus of the school essentially makes it seem like they're really going to have to work, especially with a budget like this, to cultivate or, you know, actually put thought into every little area because there's only so much space that they have. They can't just give you a 1,000-mile radius and, you know, autofill it with whatever they want.
So I might have to rain on everybody's parade here.
What's up?
No.
This is...
It's an interactive novel.
Who made Mad Max? Avalanche Software is not...
They haven't
Avalanche
done anything.
Studios made Mad Max. Avalanche Software made...
Cars 3.
Tons of Disney. Tak and the Power of Juju's Nickelodeon.
Oh,
thing.
Tak and the Power, the Nickelodeon game.
Chicken Little, Ace in Action, Meet the Robinsons, Bolt, Toy Story
These
3,
are all movie tie-ins, yeah.
Cars 2, Disney Infinity.
Hey,
and then
Cars 2 was
3
one of the best games
recently.
of its generation.
So we're gonna have to see.
Cars game.
This is, I guess, their big break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cars 3 Driven to Win, 59. Cars 2, the video game, 72.
I mean, Days Gone Studio made Bubsy 3D.
People can change, Mike. Give them a chance.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Obviously, I'm tempering
my expectations.
I'm going to go ahead and hype this game up to oblivion. So, Mike, I mean, just maybe I'm thinking of this from an MMO perspective, but imagine me. You make a character. You're with all these other players, and then you have to go up there. And you get the sorting hat put on, and you like answer these questions as the sorting hat's talking to you, and you get put in a house. And then
I think it'd be awesome,
dude. And then after
that,
that,
awesome.
But before that, you go through. Oh my God, that town, by platform 9 3/4, where you get your wand.
Diagon Alley,
yeah. You get your owl. And they all give stat bonuses. You also get robes. You get gear, your wand, you get different types of wands. And what? Oh, dude, it would be sick. Exploration of the castle, big bosses, 3-mans, raids, like 10-man raids. You got to go into the Chamber of Secrets, defeat the snake. Tons of mechanics, sick loot. Oh my God, dude,
Could be good. Could be good.
Too bad the game's going to be nothing like that. Yeah, game's not going to be anything
We'll have
like
to
that.
wait and see.
So,
I mean, the other two DC games that Warner Bros. Has coming out is...
And then the Gotham Knights.
And Suicide Squad.
I wanted to talk about Gotham Knights because we haven't seen much about that.
Don't think we're going to see any. I think it's going to be 30 minutes of Back 4 Blood. If I'm being honest.
No, for sure.
Really?
Yeah, and where else if they have because they wouldn't show it Ubisoft or EA. The only place they could be is Xbox and Bethesda, but I don't think that's going to happen either.
It could be a special surprise of Jeff Keighley.
Oh, or at the Summer Games Fest. Yeah.
That's where I'm thinking we might see.
Could be the Summer Games Fest.
If anything, it's probably going to be Gotham Knights. Because that looked pretty fleshed out when we saw it a year ago or so. And that's that's multiplayer co-op. We'll have to see if there's a good gearing system in that or whatnot, how that's going to play out.
I would doubt it, right? I mean, the Arkham games is this so they call it Gotham Knights. They're not putting the Arkham moniker on it. Does it not just look like Arkham's game with more characters?
It's multiplayer though. It's co-op.
Yeah, right. But I'm saying, like, would they? I wonder if they would.
This could be
like,
our conviction, mate.
Oh my God, running around.
It's stealth because there's gonna be stealth in this.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, wait a sec. Now I'm excited.
Yeah, mate.
I kind of didn't give a shit a minute ago.
I gotta drop the nuke. Warner Bros. Spokesperson confirmed that Back 4 Blood is the only game at both E3 and the Summer Games Fest.
Okay, so they're the worst publisher ever, and we're never going to talk about them on the podcast again. Okay, so what's next?
So we still have Xbox and Bethesda, Bandai Namco, Capcom, and Nintendo.
Let's hit Capcom, Bandai Namco, and then we'll end with the big two. Because I think the biggest hype is in Bandai Namco, Nintendo, and Xbox.
What's going on with Capcom at E3? Oh, they only have 30 minutes.
They're not doing anything. I think we can skip them.
Oh, wait. IGN says Capcom E3 2021 showcase
What are they going to
announced. I don't know if it's been detailed.
RE-verse?
Capcom lists some games we'll see. Oh,
RE-verse kind of looks fun. I've watched some video. It looks okay. It looks like something that you play you can have fun with some friends, maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they announced some sort of, DLC for Monster Hunter, stuff like that.
Capcom has confirmed they'll be bringing, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Monster Hunter Stories 2, Monster Hunter Rise, and Resident Evil Village.
Maybe we'll get some DLC
for Village? Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
They didn't release a season pass, though, so I'm going to be pissed if they're going to try. What do you mean? Because there was a season pass with 7.
Right.
Because I honestly just wait till I sell the game and then just wait till the gold edition comes out.
Yeah.
But here, look, we're not going to get anything unless it's DLC, and they just put out a new Monster Hunter game. The new Devil May Cry game came out, 2 years ago?
At the launch of the consoles. Or was it before? I'm sorry, that might have just been the upgraded version for the next gen.
That was the upgraded version.
Yeah.
We just got RE8. What are we gonna Dead Rising? We're not.
Yeah.
They don't have anything else. That's it. Their biggest franchises are out, so maybe they'll have some minor stuff, but I don't.
Yeah, this all looks like generally just community upkeep for them. Great.
Can we go Chronicles. Do we want to go down the rumorscape, which is not going to happen, but what if we got a Lost Planet 4? Taking the best...
Long time coming.
It'd be sick, but I'm not
they just dropped that on us? It's not going to happen, but...
Yeah. We can make it happen if we believe hard enough.
Oh, whoa. Okay, we got to talk. Valve. Valve has a special announcement.
They're rumored to be doing a... handheld, right? Like a Steamware handheld.
They got something. There's a lot of rumors with them, with Microsoft, and also they want a console, I think. I mean, how can you not get excited about fucking Valve coming to E3?
Valve doing anything.
Gaben, fucking the wizard, our Lord and Savior.
They're gonna be at the PC gaming show.
Yes. I don't know what else gets announced there. I don't know.
Probably games.
Yeah.
Smaller indie games, I would assume. Maybe new tech. You'll probably see NVIDIA, maybe AMD there.
I mean, what can we expect from Valve? Is Gabe just going to talk about his love for Dota 2?
I thought the handheld was the big rumor out of Valve.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like, a Switch-like portable console.
That seems most likely because they're also rumored to show up at the Xbox conference.
Do you guys think that that tells? I saw that too, Kev. That tells me that Game Pass would be on it, and that Xbox would announce it. But do you guys think this would be like a streaming machine, a la like the kind of, what was it, Nvidia Shield? You could stream games to your TV.
Yeah, you could stream games to the Shield.
Do you think that this Steam thing would be download and has some like native ability to play them, or is it a streaming thing, you think?
I would think what they want to do is, because of this massive success of the Switch, and if this is a Switch-esque console, you could make that thing more powerful, especially if you're Valve. And I think it would be a similar kind of thing to that, where maybe there is some streaming functionality. I'm sure it'll, connect to your PC if you're on the same Wi-Fi network or whatever. But yeah, I would think just without the same technical prowess as like a high-end PC, but with Steam's library and just controller support, that's what I would assume they were doing if that's what they were making.
I think this decision probably comes off the success of the Index over the pandemic, honestly. The fact that they have a huge demand for hardware, they'll probably be like, wow, we have a huge PC audience. Even if it takes us we sell we don't have a lot of these because we can't produce them as mass. We'll sell out and we're going to make profit on it most likely. They'll probably sell for like 1,000.
Yeah, I think this
so
would
you're
be...
thinking high end.
No, yeah. No, I mean the Index was 1,000. They're only going to do high end.
Yeah, but Index is a state of the art VR machine, not a consumer level.
I think they're going to want. I feel like they're not going to go anything lower than. PC is just, that's how it is. To run a VR game, you need a fucking $1,500 PC anyway.
Right, but this is not that. Steve, do you think that they would go compete with the Switch, or do you think that they would go for a more enthusiast market that's more like make the thing beefy and you're running full HD games that look good on a handheld?
Yeah, I mean beefier than the Switch, but I think that this is them trying to tap into the console market, especially because you see how the Switch sells better than every other console, just all the time. It's constantly sold out, and it's been out for years. And I think that Steam might be thinking yeah, we could do this better than fucking Nintendo. No one else is this, semi-portable, home TV based console. There's really only one person in that market, and it's Nintendo. And as much as I love Nintendo, man, they dropped the ball in a lot of ways. If you could have a console like that actually connects to the internet well and can play games that aren't just Nintendo games, I don't know. I could see Steam making a play like that.
We'll have to see about the specs if that comes out though, because I mean, what OS is it gonna run? This also ties into the Xbox. If they partner with Microsoft, they'll be like, okay, we'll run our OS on your handheld PC.
Oh fuck, some kind of Windows.
Yeah, Windows hybrid or something.
Yeah. I hadn't even thought about this leading up to this discussion, and now that we're discussing the idea of this happening, this would be sweet.
Yeah.
This would be sweet. You can play Witcher 3 on Switch, but doesn't it look like shit? It runs like shit.
Yeah.
This could be a smart decision. Man. Steam's you can play anything on the go.
I would like it to be beefy. Shit. I'd like it to be an $800, really strong.
I'm picturing it somewhat like the Oculus Quest 2, where it is standalone in that you can just plug it into your TV or whatever, but if you want to stream from your PC or, maybe connect it to the PC somehow, that would beef up its specs.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Right, well you'd just be running it on your PC, similar to the Quest. You're running the game on your computer.
I guess at that point it's kind of redundant, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool. We'll have to see. I'm so excited for Valve. We'll get back into Valve, I guess, when we talk about Xbox. But let's jump into the fucking, I guess, easily the fucking most anticipated game of the year.
Elden Ring?
Oh yeah, dude. Have you seen the internet going fucking about this game? People Oh my god, God of War doesn't exist. It's Elden Ring. I swear, I've been on that Reddit page.
It's the fucking
They're
Souls
hollow.
fans, man. It's the Souls fans.
They are hollow. These guys are, oh my god. There was a YouTube thing popping up my recommendations. This dude would sit in front of the TV. There's no new information about Elden Ring today.
Yeah, every day.
Every single day. Dude, this community is insane. It is all I think it's always like the highest voted anticipated game at every show, and it's never shown.
Right? Yeah. Maybe they're scared.
This game is fucking huge. It is like this is cyberpunk levels of hype for me.
Right.
Like from what I've seen from the community, and we haven't seen fucking anything. We saw that leak, which looks like a mod.
Right.
Dude, I don't know what to expect from this game. I've watched that trailer 100 times because I don't know where they get these voice actors from. It's so emotional. It's so fucking good, and there's so much visual storytelling going on. I want to know what is Miyazaki and the boys cooking up? Are they hiking up some new verticality, more movement? I mean, is there going to be horses? Is this going to be huge open world, like huge dude, I want to know. I want to know at this point.
Yeah, I wonder, because the thing about Dark Souls that sets it apart from other open world games, at least in its world, is that it takes a lot of that like Metroidvania style world building that you would normally see in 2D and just puts it in 3D, where it's an interconnected world of passageways rather than like, you know, an expansive plane or something like that.
I'm going to go ahead and exclude Dark Souls 2 real quick because there's an elevator that goes up to a lava place. So
right.
From a windmill, the top of a windmill that goes up.
And yeah, and Bloodborne lets you kind of fast travel to the dream world and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, if I can just imagine myself being overwhelmed. Dude, I get lost so easily in real life. Like, that sounds like a nightmare for me. But yeah,
you,
could
Mike?
be.
I gotta see it. I'm worried about how the gameplay translates to an open world.
Yeah.
So we'll have
It's a big gamble.
Yeah. I mean, I have no doubt that they can do it. That's another team that they've never made a game that I didn't like. I'm bad at Dark Souls, but I still like and appreciate those games. So we'll have to see.
I hope it's not the same. Honestly, if there's a stamina bar, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. After Sekiro, the strides they made with that game, going back to a stamina bar, and it just...
Yeah, Demon Souls had stamina bar.
Yeah, but I got rid of that. Because I glitched the fucking game. I had 99 everything. My stamina bar, dude, I could run a marathon and fucking... Havel's armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the open world's a big gamble. We'll have to see. I hope we get a grapple hook or like Sekiro. I'd like to see, honestly, that movement.
Yeah.
We got a horse. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, we already saw Gyobu Masataka Aniwa on a horse. And that horse looked pretty cool. So, all right, I guess
Right.
Nintendo, Steve, or Bethesda, Microsoft?
We can do Nintendo first. It's basically Sequel City, as far as Nintendo stuff goes. It's, Bayonetta 3, Metroid Prime 4, Splatoon 3, new Smash character that'll, come
Mario,
my pants to.
we're going to see Mario Golf.
That out. Yeah, Mario Golf.
Oh, that comes out soon, yep.
We're not gonna. I'm gonna tell you what we want to see, but we're not gonna see. We're not gonna see Bayonetta 3, Breath of the Wild 2, or Metroid Prime 4.
You don't think we're gonna see Breath of the Wild 2?
No.
I think we will, dude. I think we will.
How long has it been?
It's since Breath of the Wild 1, or since we've seen anything about 2?
Did they announce 2?
Dude,
did they show a title card at one point? How long ago?
E3
Dude, they showed a whole
2019.
trailer.
They
Cinematic.
showed 2 years ago?
Yeah.
How'd you miss this?
And they also, oh my god, I
When
forget which Nintendo Direct it was. It was a Zelda related Nintendo Direct, and they didn't say anything about it except for, we know you all want Breath of the Wild 2, but we don't have anything right now.
Yes.
So instead, enjoy this Link's Awakening bullshit.
Yeah.
But
He said that it's running smoothly. Everything's going smoothly in production.
I have hope that we'll see Breath of the Wild.
I hope
2
we
this
see
year.
one of those fucking games. Honestly.
Yeah.
I know
Breath
Breath of the Wild 2's coming out. I'd like to see like another JPEG of Metroid Prime.
I have less faith in Metroid Prime.
Oh, I have no faith in Metroid. Bayonetta 3, I almost have less faith in. Because we've heard nothing about that forever. That's been in development longer than Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, because Bayonetta 2 was a Wii U launch title.
Yeah. So, 3, I'm concerned what's going on.
Yeah.
But, hey, alright, we don't have to talk about software. We can also talk about hardware. The Switch Pro is so heavily rumored.
Yes, it is.
What a conundrum, though. The Switch is selling so well. It doesn't slow down. It keeps selling out. They can't meet demand. It's kind of unbelievable. So the thought that they'd rehash in a meaningful way is...
I think this is honestly more for third-party developers. Again, I think they saw that because with the Switch they finally had third-party developers again for the first time since the GameCube.
Yeah.
Because no third-party developer wanted to make anything for the Wii or Wii U. But the Switch, they've started offshoring it to other studios to make the port. If they can get it beefy enough so we can get the regular editions of these games, or close to, like really close enough, where they don't have to make a separate port, that I think Nintendo might. It'll make them happier, make third-party developers happier, and there'll be more games at launch instead of waiting a year for that Nintendo Switch port. They want the games at launch on Switch as well.
I just don't know if you can do it on a console that size. Like, dude, you've said yourself the Xbox Series X is like a small refrigerator, and the PS5 just isn't
Series
much
X is
better
tiny
in terms of size. Is it?
Yeah, it's tiny.
Oh, I thought it was... Okay,
no,
well, the PS5
it's really, really small. This PS5.
The Series X is still too big to hold in your hands.
You could hold it in your lap. It's like a baby. It's as big as a baby.
You can't, like, play it.
Oh,
but either way,
the
PS5 and the Xbox Series X are both far larger than the Switch will be, and I imagine far larger than the Switch Pro will be. And I mean, size isn't everything, but how much good tech can you fit in such a small package that also has to like hold its own monitor, like,
and has to cool? That's probably the biggest part, is the fans.
Cooling.
Takes a lot of space on them.
I mean, when you say you want to see these like ports coming over, are you thinking like day one ports of these like new games coming out, Kev?
Yeah. Well, I think that's what Nintendo would want. They wouldn't want to wait a year for a Switch port. They want like if they can. I mean, I don't think we'll see Call of Duty because that really pushes on PC. It just pushes the boundaries of graphics sometimes. But like Doom Eternal, something like that. They'd want, like, hey, look, this game's really optimized. Can you get this at launch? Just knock it down a bit. Just, they have enough power to get a good version out on the console.
That at least runs smooth.
I would just argue they don't need it. They don't need it, and I don't think it's worth it to them to fracture their player base.
They're going to still sell the original Switch. I have no doubt, but they're going to have a beefier version. They're still going to sell the Switch Lite, they're going to sell this, and they're going to sell it Pro. It's going to be like the iPhone.
The thing that does excite me about a Switch Pro is that Nintendo's first-party games are going to take advantage of it right away. They're not going to do this Sony... You don't think?
No, God, no. Dude, Nintendo's so bad at the fucking everything online. Like, anything that is, like, compatibility... They like, look at Animal Crossing. You have to buy a whole new console just to have a second island. Like, they are kings of fucking thievery with money against their consumers. Pokemon is bad. Pokemon's really bad. The Pokedex thing
Dude, I pulled up
Right.
the Legend of Arceus trailer. I wanted to talk about that. That game's it's embarrassing.
It is, dude.
The
It's
two F-
I
is
agree.
that the 2
embarrassing.
FPS game?
It's shocking that they released. It comes out in early 2022. We'll see that at E3.
Yeah. It's got its N64 textures on the trees, and yeah.
God help them, dude. It's embarrassing, and it's gonna sell like fucking hotcakes. It's gonna piss me off. That's
Yeah, I don't have much hope for Nintendo bringing like, oh yeah, this is gonna look better and run better on the Pro. I'm like,
yeah.
that is like such a long shot for me from Nintendo.
I think with some of their tent poles, they take advantage of it though. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if like Mario Odyssey kind of pushes the Switch. You know what I mean? Or Mario Kart. Oh, Mario Kart 8
Bowser's
support.
Fury. Bowser's Fury definitely does.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
like to see Bowser. There's really, I just don't know how the cartridges work. Like, how would the system read that? Like, I don't know how those work compared to how games work now, where it's just software and it reads that. Okay, we're gonna uncap the frame rate. It just goes. The system recognizes that. I don't know how the cartridges and how the OS and all that works inside the Switch. Is that hard? Because when I see developers take an extra year to make a Switch port, something tells me it's not that easy, that the Pro is just going to be like, oh yeah, let's just flip the Switch. It's going to have better FPS.
Dude, you know what's really interesting is that the cartridges have the game on them versus the discs for the consoles, the regular consoles. You're installing the game onto the console. The game's on the cartridge for the Switch, so that's interesting that you just mentioned that.
It's
that
not-
could provide some interesting technical challenges.
Yeah, I think the only thing, that's why if DLSS is actually going to be in there, but the game has to support DLSS first. So I can, honestly, any old game I don't think we'll ever see that supported on the Pro.
That would be a shame.
Yeah, Nintendo wouldn't go out of their way. They don't, I mean, we can't even get a fucking proper Mario Anniversary.
Yeah.
We got the 3D All-Stars, but
I mean,
Yeah, for a
Sunshine still run at 30 FPS. They couldn't
Oh
even get
my
that to
God.
run at 60 on the Switch. So I have zero hope for Nintendo doing anything for,
Pro consumer.
pro consumer and performance. They could care less. Too much money for them. These guys, like, they make a lot of good decisions. They put out good quality, but they're very. They want a lot of money.
Yeah, I think that a lot of that comes down to ports, though, whereas, like, their newer games generally are, you know, at least run well. But, yeah, to be seen, what's going to be announced there. What do you want to see from Nintendo?
I want to see the specs of the fucking Switch Pro. I want to know how beefy this thing is. I want to know
if it's worth buying.
Because I think from the specs we will find out what this is supposed to be. Is this supposed to be the iPhone 12 Pro, or is this supposed to be a new iPhone? Is it the iPhone 13?
My prediction is that we get a bigger screen, so the same size. The form factor is exactly the same. Bigger screen, so the bezels will be smaller, so it'll same size but bigger panel. OLED, and that's it. That's my prediction. So kind of like the Vita did an OLED Vita.
Right.
And then they switched to the LCD after.
Yeah.
Nintendo, I think, is going to go the other way and have this one be OLED, bigger. I don't know about the price, because if that's all they change, it'd be hard to justify $399. But I don't think they're going to change the internals. It's my prediction. I don't.
Well, they have to if they want 4K. The biggest rumor is 4K.
I don't know if that's. I don't know. It seems to me like one of those things that's been like people are hoping for, and it's just been circulated because it just kind of keeps staying hot because people really want it. I don't know.
As long as
If
they
it-
fix the
yeah.
Joy-Con drift, I'll be happy.
That's another thing. They put
That'll
out
be
new
a market
Joy-Cons, but
improvement. Yeah.
I just don't have much hope for Nintendo on that, because if they have something out, they're not gonna revisit it. I just
It's
feel
not
like they
hurting
never
business
do.
as is, yeah.
Yeah, they're like that. I mean, they're if we're comparing their practices to Sony and Xbox, they are easily the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Um,
I think it's time, boys.
Phil
Main event?
Spencer, this fucking
Papa
Californian surfing bro.
Papa Phil. and the boys.
Do we want to start software or do we want to start Valve and hardware? I guess that is.
We can touch on Valve briefly.
I think this is the most. I'm pumped. I'm very curious to see what this is because if we can get Steam on a fucking Series X.
Wait, so the rumor is that the hell's that guy? Gabe is gonna be at the Xbox event. Is that right?
I just read. They might show up at Xbox. They're definitely at the PC gaming show.
Right. This just,
but there's a heavy rumor
that they might appear. Okay. And
there's
that leads you to think that we could get Steam on.
There's
the
been
Xbox?
heavy. Yeah, there's heavy rumors. Well, there was, like, behind the scenes, there was lots of talk that Steam wanted Game Pass on. I mean, Valve wanted Game Pass on Steam. So the only way that would happen is if they got Steam on console. Because I think...
Why would either of them...
Subscription. Valve wants partnership of the subs. Any sub made through Steam, they'd get a cut.
Why would Xbox do that?
Because if they can...
Because they're already on PC, so why would
right,
they want
but if they can,
Valve taking their money?
The only way it would work for me is if you get your Steam library on console. If you own a game on
so it's
Steam...
a tit for tat. It's a tit for tat, and then they
yeah,
both
so
kinda,
it literally makes your... It's like, oh, I have Witcher 3 on PC, but I want to play on my console or something. Like games like Titanfall 2, if you want to play that on a console, just
right.
You can play whatever the fuck you want. It's that ecosystem about, and also if this does go into the handheld Steam device,
yeah,
Game Pass on that with Steam, so everything would go through Steam, but you also have Game Pass.
How do you feel about this, Steve?
I mean, that would be one of the craziest, like, partnerships in, like, industry history, I think. Like, mixing one of the 3 big console, manufacturers, whatever, companies, with the company that is synonymous with PC gaming and having this, like, full integration between the two. I mean, Xbox has been losing handily thus far, and I think it's hard to imagine them coming back against, like, where the PS5 is at. But if they can pull something like that off, I mean, it almost sounds fantastical, but...
Yeah, doesn't sound real. That's the rumors.
Yeah, that is a joining of titans, dude. That'd be really exciting. To just, like, have that level of flexibility for, like, a service that is already such a good deal like Game Pass. That's insane, if that happens. I hope it does, man. That would shake a lot of stuff up.
Where do you stand, Mike?
I don't know. I can't see the financial benefit to either party. I can see happening is Game Pass on the Steam machine, this portable Steam machine, as kind of like further incentive for Valve to sell this hardware.
Valve doesn't need incentives to sell it, to be fair.
I can't. True, because they're made of money, but I can't see... I don't know how either of them benefits, honestly. As corporate entities, I don't know how it...
I think for this to work, Microsoft
Steam?
Would have to give so much money to Steam. That's the only way, because I would imagine that Microsoft has... They're partnering. They're on a spending spree still. And we've heard these rumors with Steam... for a couple months now. This just think though, if you have access to Steam on the Series X, right?
Yeah.
So
then you're buying games on Steam, and Xbox is not getting their 30% cut.
There would absolutely be a deal where they would get a cut in that situation.
Still less because they'd be sharing the cut with Steam. It doesn't make sense to me.
Right, but I feel it's about it. It's genuinely about that ecosystem.
Right, and I think
that if they go on, sorry, Steve, if they go on a PC, they get Game Pass as well. They just want Game Pass. They want, if it's just a huge joining of giants. They know, if how many people are on Steam, and if they can get just Xbox anywhere near Steam. I mean, Sea of Thieves is on Steam. The Master Chief Collection's on Steam. Like, these things are coming to Steam day one. This could be a signal of Maybe these games are going to start being free on Steam if you have Game Pass. It's just to draw in more customers, I think. It's to draw those subs up. And then Steam might get a cut.
Yeah, I wonder if that could also incentivize someone with, a Steam library to get an Xbox.
Yeah.
But yeah, that seems crazy. I think more likely than Steam being on Xbox would be Game Pass integration into Steam.
That's what I'm thinking too.
You know what I mean? You just have your Game Pass library in your Steam account. It just where everyone's already playing games, like
realistically,
and now they can just use Game Pass there.
I think that would be the partnership that Microsoft wants more than anything, because they can't get their Game Pass with Windows right. They can't get that set up. So if they can partner with Steam and say, I think I put this in chat, you get access to your download, you can mod it, go have fun. It's going to run well because it's through Steam. We're going to abandon the games with Windows. Right. That, I think...
Oh, Jesus Christ. And then, in turn, they give Steam whatever small cut. Wow.
For letting them use their platform. That is,
right,
I think...
because then you're getting the Steam version of the game, not the fucking Dirt 4 that they're like, buy the game because it's so bad on the Windows Store.
Microsoft still gets the crazy subs. Steam gets the a partnership outside the cut. It's probably not a cut of the subs, but they'll have a partnership agreement in which we'll see Microsoft and Valve join together. I think that's probably the more realistic than a full-fledged partnership of integration on both platforms.
I don't see Steam coming onto Xbox, but I could...
Yeah.
I mean, it's Xbox's, like, I don't know, holy mission to get Game Pass on every single device that they can and every service.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that, honestly, to see what they announce it, because this has been brewing for a while. It seems there's interest in both parties to get this done as well. So I do think that the thing we just touched on is the most realistic option.
Yeah.
But software.
Software.
Yes. Where do we want to start? Halo Infinite?
Let's go Halo, baby. Mike, what is it? What do we got to see?
I totally forgot about Halo Infinite. Are they going to show, you guys think, at E3?
It's coming out in 4 months?
They have to, dude. Like,
they've been doing so much work behind the scenes.
I'm
lots of communication.
Excited. I'm not excited for it. It doesn't look that good to me. I hope so bad that it's good. I hope so bad that it's good and that people enjoy it and it fucking kills it for Microsoft, but it's just not a game that I'm interested in. What about you guys?
Yeah. Does Halo work in an open world setting? You know what I mean? I don't know if it does. As like an arena shooter, unless they can craft a bunch of really cool arena based places to put around this open world, I don't know if it necessarily needs an open world to be improved.
So one thing that excited me is seeing Jason Jones back a part of the Halo team. He was part of Bungie for the first 3, and he's amazing if you watch the Halo 2 special edition DVD. I think my about the open world, they're trying something new. It is a new idea and something that it's a linear first-person shooter. And they're going all in. Like, this is a big gamble. Once again, when we're talking about Elden Ring with the big open world gamble, right. I grew up with Halo. It's hard for me not to get excited about this. This is I thought it moved too slowly. The grapple looked slow when we first saw the gameplay. I thought performance looked good though. It didn't look great, but it ran pretty well. Like, because it ran at PC, and I could tell it was running at 120. So that excites me. I would like to see something less scripted, though. I want to see what is this Halo ring that we're on. I want to know to the extent of co-op. What is it? Are they bringing back couch co-op? That means a lot to the Halo community.
It does, yeah.
Are we gonna see a little bit of multiplayer as well? It's strange because I always thought this is Microsoft's baby. This has to be big, And after the spending, I feel that the pressure has almost been lifted from on this game.
Yeah.
I think this game still has to be good, and we have to see big improvements visually.
I agree.
I don't think visuals are too important to a game, but I think when Halo used to be a driving force, especially with Halo 2, where it had a very specific art style but looked great. Even Halo 3, the Halo 2 remake looks unbelievable. So, and this looked like a downgrade to the Halo 2 remaster, whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
So,
are you excited for Halo Infinite, Steve?
So I've never been a big Halo guy in general. So, you know, seeing Master Chief doesn't really do much for me. But how many other, you know, first-person shooter open-world games are there? I mean, there's Far Cry. So I think that...
And that lacks focus and
yeah,
is bloated. So if this...
Right. This has potential to be something surprisingly unique, whereas, I mean, Halo, since when, have just been a bunch of kind of like copy-paste, lowest common denominator, or at least they kind of have been drifting that way into less and less interesting games. Yeah, I mean, I need to wait for the general consensus on how it comes out, because I know that Halo fans are a picky bunch in a lot of ways. Even though the games do always sell pretty well, I'm very interested in how the Halo community receives this game, more so than I am in actually playing it myself. If I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I think
because this could be a return to form for them in a completely new direction, if that makes any sense.
Steve,
if that's not a contradiction, but
I have a question for you about the idea came in my head about how like 4 and 5 have kind of been copy paste of 3 in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But looking back at 1, 2, 3 ODST and kind of Reach added a lot, but so 1 kind of innovated on the first person shooter in general.
Yeah.
2 brought us together with multiplayer, and 3 was the complete package with Forge, totally customizable game, leaderboards and co-op multiplayer, and the story, legendary, all that. So each game kind of introduced a new idea. This looks like the first new idea
in a long time.
It's not a new idea though. It's new to the franchise.
It's new to the it is new to the franchise.
I think that's different than what we've seen with 1, 2, and 3.
Right, where it was complete innovation. But where Steve brought up, have we seen a first-person shooter game really nail an open world?
Right, it's just a shooter.
That's like, just a shooter like
Far
this.
it's like an RPG.
That is known for couch co-op and a heavy lore-focused story.
Oh, Borderlands, we were talking about before, is kind of in that ballpark.
Kind of.
More an RPG, similar to Far Cry, I'd say.
Right.
But what are you going to do? Like, my concern is, what are you going to do?
I have the same exact
We
concern.
saw in the gameplay, it's like you just drive to the spot where you fight people.
So
and then, like, you go to the next spot that you shoot people. I'm worried that there's not going to be much there.
Right. So my question for Steve about this is, with the lack of focus, generally in first-person shooter games and open-world settings, could this be the innovation that we haven't seen yet? Like, if they come out and do it right, and it's like, wow, we didn't know we needed this. Do you think 343 has that capability, or do you think this is just a long shot?
I'll be honest, from that gameplay trailer, I'm leaning more towards what Mike was saying. I didn't see what set this game apart.
They showed us the game already.
Else out there.
They showed it to us.
Right. Yeah. And unless they could make this world interesting without making the game a full RPG, because look, driving around in a car, taking down bases and stuff with your friends, like in a couch co-op Halo way, sounds like a great time. But I don't know if it will necessarily be helped by being an open world, because I've been shown nothing so far to tell me that this open world is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they could. And like I said before, I've never been a huge Halo guy, so I couldn't tell you if 343 has it in them.
Based on their previous efforts, 4 and 5, I would say there's not a fucking chance that
You
they
say they're
have.
drifting farther away.
Yeah, I don't think they have a chance of innovating. These guys are not Bungie.
Right, yeah.
They're not that prime Bungie. I think my first red flag was seeing the grapple hook. I'm like, okay, we've seen like Doom Eternal just had this, so now every first person shooter is gonna have it. But Doom had it fast, and you're in it. That was the slowest grapple hook I've ever fucking seen in my life. While it was cool that you can grab those explosive canisters, I'm with Mike that they're gonna have to show us a really revitalized game that they really walled themselves off and reinvented a lot and made it more fun, innovative, but I don't see it.
No,
But
and I remember we had reporting on how much they had been outsourcing development. I don't think that... I hope that I'm wrong, but I think we're going to have another situation where we get a Legends of Arceus game that's just not... it's just not there. But people are going to love it, people are going to play it, they're going to buy it. Yep. But I hope for something more.
Yeah, I think, last thing, I know people really like the Halo 5 multiplayer. I think maybe that would be the good part again. Maybe 343 understands multiplayer, but I didn't like 4's multiplayer. I played it for a bit compared to Reach, where I played so much because it was amazing. But moving on to, we gotta talk
Starfield.
Starfield.
Tom Cruise confirmed.
Tom Cruise confirmed. Main character.
That would be that would be crazier than the Steam on X. Like that would be the crazy shit if Tom Cruise was the protagonist of Starfield.
Tom Cruise
for real, dude. That would be
game.
Fucking crazy. That'd be crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
That honestly would be insane.
And with more the Bethesda dialogue too, like and that stiff voice, like facial animation, I would love it. It would be great. Todd Howard acting next to him, our Lord and Savior.
Are you guys excited for this game? Starfield.
Sure. Depends. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I want to be excited.
Yeah.
Bethesda has kind of just been dropping the ball lately. Fallout 76 was like a pile of like burning shit, and Fallout 4, while not a pile of burning shit, was just kind of bland.
It was the pile of shit. It just wasn't burning yet.
It just wasn't burning. Exactly. Yeah, it was nice and cold. But I mean, you look back and Fallout 3 was great. Fallout New Vegas was great. Skyrim, I got absolutely lost in. And so, who knows, dude? Maybe Bethesda takes this new setting and they inspire themselves with it. Whereas revisiting the Wasteland, they were just revisiting it and they didn't know what new to do with it. Maybe this new, space-based setting, kicks them back into old Bethesda gear and they can build out a beautiful world that I'll get lost in again. And I hope that's the case, but I'll say I'm cautiously optimistic right now.
Kev?
Mike, I want to ask you a question real quick, Mike, about because you're big in the Fallout. You've played, I've only played 3 really. I didn't like Skyrim, so I think you've invested a bit more time into their games. But from an outside perspective, this, and especially the monetization in 76, would you say that Todd Howard and Bethesda kind of were awaiting this financial takeover? Like the resources that Microsoft had is almost like they were struggling so badly that it became so noticeable. Do you think that this, now that they have funds from Microsoft, they'll their quality will go back up? Because it is, I want to read in this question, the other facets, the other teams under Bethesda have put out very good titles. Todd Howard, however, and what he's been a part of has not been as good.
Todd Howard was, to my understanding, was not a part of Fallout 76. Bethesda Game Studios didn't make Fallout 76.
Right, it was
who the fuck made it? Austin?
It was like
Bethesda?
Some Texas team, right?
Yes. I don't think that the acquisition will change anything in a meaningful way in terms of scope or making them now able to realize a vision that they had that they couldn't realize before. 76 was such a weird spin-off that the type of game it was kind of necessitated the monetization that they put into it. The fact that it flopped also necessitated them to do that monthly pass and paying for private servers and the whatever, the Atom shop, the currency for all the cosmetic stuff.
Yeah, selling their soul, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, and I think that they were in that position because of how bad it flopped. Maybe this acquisition allows them to be a bit more ambitious with maybe Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 5, but I don't see it changing. Starfield was probably mostly
done.
75-80% done when this all happened.
There's the rumor also going around that that game was rumored to not even be close, but Phil Spencer took a look at it and liked what he saw. And that might have that they were going
to
in
buy for them, to Microsoft to make the decision to buy Bethesda and pay the premium.
No. After the acquisition happened, that he took a look at Starfield, and that he liked what he saw, and that maybe that's why we're getting more. Like, you guys can show this off. I wonder how much. My question on the acquisition is how much, now that Bethesda kind of has someone looking over their shoulder, and we know that Microsoft has a void in first party titles, and I don't want to say that they're looking directly at Sony, because I don't think it's clear that Microsoft doesn't want to be Sony. It's very, very clear.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to be, look at Horizon, you guys have to make games that look like that. I don't think they're ever going to say that. But I do think they might pump some money into that engine, or there might be something there. I wonder if if Microsoft's looking down over them, Phil Spencer's like, okay, look, let's be honest, your last couple games Fallout 4's engine wasn't good enough. It still looks like Fallout 3. You guys need to step it up now that you've been purchased by us. I wonder if they're going to be, okay, we have to hit a certain quality now. Or if Microsoft's just going to say, you got to be our front runners. Halo hasn't been hitting it for us. Gears of War hasn't really hit strides as well. They're going to look to Bethesda to be, look, okay, you're big guys now, lead the way for us.
Steve?
Like, did they buy their Alex Rodriguez type of thing? Did they buy Lionel Messi expecting greatness right away?
Yeah. I mean, I hope the budget helps, man. I honestly, I have no idea where I think that they may have been in development by the time that they got bought out, but this is their first game since they've gotten bought, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hope it's not just like a development hell thing of like, oh, now we got to throw all this money at this project that, you know, maybe didn't need it in the first place, and it just bogs it down with, you know, bloated shit because they have all this money and they need a reason to spend it. But we just don't know anything about this game,
yeah, we
man.
Know
I want to see it. I'm so eager to see it.
I think that we'll learn a lot from the presence of Todd Howard, as I assume it's going to be him that's showing this game. I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know if you guys remember when they unveiled Fallout 4, and Bethesda at the time hadn't really done anything wrong yet. They weren't really on the decline like they are now, and Todd Howard's up there and he's strutting the strut, And he's talking
yeah,
about
dude.
all this detail, and he is God's gift to Earth, and that team and him felt it, and they were
Yeah, big
confident, they were
swinging dick
cocky,
Todd.
dude. Yeah. I think that we see a more reserved Todd Howard. I don't think he's going to come out with a big swinging dick. I think if he has that energy, I think that says all it needs to say about the quality of the game. But if he comes out very matter of fact, like skip 4 times the detail and it just works and it's the most expansive like world we've ever made. If he skips that shit and they just start talking about the game very casually, here's Starfield, blah blah blah, I'm gonna be worried. If he's got the big swinging dick and he still has that energy and confidence, I think that says all it has to say about what that game's gonna be and what it means to them to kind of insert themselves back into the industry, back into the kind of top tier of RPG developers, because they're behind now.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm going to expect big dick energy because he just got bought out for $7.5 billion. So I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up on stage in a fucking Lambo with the chess club behind him. Like,
oh my God.
Oh my God.
I think he's obviously a very charismatic person. He's very good at speaking. He's got great energy. I don't think we're going to see much change. I think, like, this is where I said about Xbox is looking over them now. It's not just Todd Howard going out leading the charge. He's part of a team, and his performance actually matters to the brand of Xbox and Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer's probably got expectations set. Because we know fucking Spencer's a baller. We know what he likes, and he's got great influence. So we all hope that this is Bethesda coming back to form, and we hope this is going to be the best space sim ever, and we get our own ship and customize it, and there's co-op, and it's everything that No Man's Sky wanted to be at launch, or something. So yeah, we'll see. What else we got from Bethesda coming out? Unless you guys have any more.
Or Microsoft in general. I mean, I'm just generally talking about Microsoft, man. Now that they have their whole pantheon of studios, I'm just looking to be surprised, you know?
Yes.
I just want to see the new shit that's going to make me care about Xbox.
I don't know what's going to surprise you, though, Steve. I think we've seen they blew their load before this acquisition because they needed stuff to kind of keep people in their ecosystem. What are we going to get that's new?
Well, they said they have 5 new IPs ready for E3, I think, right?
What do you mean by new?
That was the rumor.
Upcoming games or like new stuff?
Brand new IPs from one of their fucking pantheon of studios.
Then I guess that would be nuts. I mean, we know Fable's coming. We know
Fable. We'll probably see Fable. I hope we see Fable.
We know the next Forza's coming, which is the sim racer motorsport. Not because they do motorsport, then Horizon. So next is motorsport. Perfect Dark. That Obsidian RPG.
Oh, yes.
Avowed, which looked dope. Hellblade. I'm pumped for Hellblade 2. That game is dark. The first one I loved. Indiana Jones.
Right. That's Bethesda.
Outer Worlds 2, maybe.
So there is, I'm reading right now on the Video Games Chronicle, and Xbox has, or Decker from Xbox, saying, quote, "We have 23 studios across Xbox and Bethesda working on Halo, Forza, Fallout, and a new IP that we haven't even talked about yet that's going to blow your mind, and that we can deliver them all into Game Pass on day one." So I don't know what that is, but that's, I mean, and also, you know, this person is responsible for marketing, but big talk, man. Big talk.
Here's what I saw. 5 new AAA Xbox and Bethesda games could be announced at E3.
Okay.
So
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna. We don't know what to expect because obviously
Right.
they don't have a history of first party games. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
We're used to Gears of
Yeah.
War and Halo. That's it. They actually have a lot now, so it's
Yeah.
easy to surprise us. We're gonna be surprised most likely. Now, Mike, Steve and I were talking about how the route that Microsoft should go with their IPs, and like I said earlier, they're not trying to be Sony. And Steve said, I think, quote here, I think they should go the niche route. They have they should just tap very niche games, like very specific games, instead of trying to hit every, I forget the word you used, Steve, kind of every cavity in the market right now. Just hit those small, because you have so many studios to make them now. You can just hit every
Yeah.
niche you want. And
To the point where they have so many studios. If all these studios are pumping out games, but every game is a Ubisoft like, they're just going to be competing with themselves on every single thing that they drop. Whereas I think that if they do, corner several different niche markets, I mean, that's good for the consumer, that's good for me, and I think that that'd be better for them, because you don't want to be buying all these studios and then having them, like, what's the word, cannibalize each other.
yes,
Right.
I agree. It would be nice to get a bunch of different games, different genres, and a big diversity in their library. So, like, we're not going to see the polish, I think, Mike, of the AAA games from Sony. I don't think any, like, there's very few, outside of Sony, only Rockstar has hit those heights of the smaller, like, fine detail, of really just trying to get as realistic with graphics. What do you want to see from Microsoft in like these 20 studios? We're gonna get, like, the new Fable game. I think is hype for me. I want to know what direction is that going? Is that going to be focused like the originals were? Do you want to see more like these tight knit RPGs, puzzle games, just covering this whole spectrum, or would you rather see like just 6 big AAA games that push everything?
I mean, I want to see Fallout 3 remastered. It's my number one. I think that I'd like to see them, the games that occupy like the $40 range, where you're a bit smaller in scope, so kind of like an Outer Worlds to a Fallout 4, where everything is just kind of pared back a little bit. I think that style of, or that scope of game is much better suited to day one Game Pass. They've got all these studios just pumping content out. I don't know if it would be sustainable for them as a company to be making Sony level. I also don't think they have the talent, but that's kind of a separate. They can't be taking 6-7 years at clip, each of these teams, to release this massive game that just comes to Game Pass. I'd like to see maybe Fallout 5 be a little tighter, a little pared back, but more polished and more quality. And what we have is better than Fallout 4. It was expansive, but you're not really, it didn't reach the same heights as 3 in New Vegas. I think tight. I don't like that Halo Infinite is this open world shooter. I think that they should have, again, pared it back, tighter, maybe a shorter campaign focused on the multiplayer, but we'll see. They have a lot to prove. A lot to prove at the showcase. A lot to prove to their stakeholders. How many $1 billion did they just pay for Bethesda? There's
that
a
doesn't
lot.
matter, though. That doesn't matter.
I think it does.
I look at their financial statements. It's a penny to them.
Oh, because it's Microsoft?
They could care less. They just said, "Oh, Phil, you want to do something? Yeah, we like it. Go ahead, go have fun." I literally, they make $49 billion a fucking year in net profit.
Yeah.
Or even.
Yeah.
They don't care. They're gonna get. All they care about. Okay, just get those subs up and you'll be good. We don't care if you lose money on the consoles, or development from games. They don't care. Just as long as the subs go up, because that's how that's how you guys are gonna be profitable, and that's all they care about, and that's all Bill Gates cares about when he gets his fucking royalty check from them or whatever. It's like, oh, Microsoft's doing Xbox, sick. Yeah, I know you've brought that up before, where okay, he spent all this money, but what could he do? This isn't Sony or Nintendo where they're very constrained. This is Manchester City, PSG. They're spending $500 million on a player and they don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a new level of tomfuckery that we've never seen in the video game industry. That's why it's exciting, but at the same time, you have to put out results. You have to show the consumer something that, look, you got our love because you're consumer friendly as fuck, and everyone loves Game Pass, and developers love you because you're taking all chance away. They get to make money on their indie games. That's awesome. Yep. Let us make you money now. Like, we want you to do well to keep this going, but you gotta fucking have some software to show us. Yeah. This is like so big. It's the first time in, I want to say since like the 360 where the ball is in Microsoft's court, or like they actually
Sony's not even there.
Yeah,
like, it's all eyes on Microsoft.
Them. It's fucking big dick time. So and if they come out with some other fucking Psychonauts 2, maybe they show that off. Maybe that's looking fresh. Oh, there's so much. I'm like nervous for them if they've got a killer lineup, because dude, if they're like, we just spent all this money, if this goes poorly, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Maybe we should talk about the repercussions of this going bad. Like, what if this comes away and people are like, yeah, it was all right.
Yeah,
all right's not.
like
let's
Halo
be honest.
Still doesn't impress. Starfield doesn't impress. Like, they're big tent poles.
Yeah, if Starfield doesn't impress, a new IP which has been hyped before the acquisition, the next Elder Scrolls.
I don't think they have a choice. They don't show it. I think they don't show it if it doesn't look good, in my opinion. If we don't see Starfield, oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy, is that bad news.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, Kev, to your question, I don't think that it can go lukewarm or bad, because they'll just strip the stuff that's not ready. I think. I don't know. Phil is good like that. Phil's not showing He's not showing Legends of Arceus. He's not letting that game come out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Granted that the Pokemon Company is a different beast.
But you could also argue like Halo Infinite didn't look good.
Yeah.
But that was also.
You're right. It did.
But at the same time, they did delay it a full year.
After
year
the backlash,
plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's a good point. That pretty much just shits on Mike, because that didn't look
good.
But
does it though? Because it didn't look good. At the same time, it showed that Phil listened and he made a pretty big boy move and said, "Look, this wasn't ready. He probably said, I trust you guys that people are gonna like this."
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he said, "Okay, you've lost that. It's delayed a year and a half. You guys got to get the fucking work." Because I do agree, he does seem. He has such a big diversity of taste, and he likes inspiration. He likes Sony. He likes Nintendo. I would hope that he has. Like, yeah, I'm not showing this. This isn't good enough. This is being cut. Sorry, go, be better. He has to be like that, I think, right now, because I think this can't go good almost for Microsoft and Xbox. This can't be. People can't come away and be like, "Oh yeah, that was good, cool." No, people have to come away from this being like, "Holy fuck, Microsoft's bringing the heat with the software now, and I'm fucking pumped. Halo looks good. Fable, they showed that looks fucking sick. Starfield is gonna be fucking killer, and whatever. And they surprised us with 2 new games or something. And the fucking dick energy is flowing. Microsoft's walking away feeling good, and the rest of the teams now start getting energy. So, oh fuck, we got something going here. Because I absolutely think this is Mike, you could probably speak to this. Sorry, Steve, I'm not really giving you much questions
No, it's
right
fine.
now. But, because I know you're big into Sony, you got to imagine when Naughty Dog comes out with the first exclusive on the PS4 and it's Uncharted 4 and it looks like that, and how no game has fucking eclipsed it, really. And that entire generation, what does that tell Guerrilla Games, Insomniac, all these other first-party studios? Like, holy fuck, we got like Naughty Dog's putting games like that out. We have to step it up. Like, that's a team thing that Sony has. Would you agree to that? And that absolutely, that's why Horizon looks good.
Yeah, they share talent too. Naughty Dog has that internal team that works across their developers. ICE, I think it's called, Initiative for the Common Engine. My understanding is they're just engineers that kind of just get shopped out to help the teams work on their shit. I think we could see something like that with id, not right away, but at least as those teams kind of get more ingratiated into the Microsoft ecosystem and become a team. We'll see. But right now, I think we could see that with Xbox too, where if this showcase blows it out of the water, and now it kind of renews some of that energy in their first party, and they really,
Steve,
get behind it.
I mean, I think going to the Nintendo as well. I could throw the same question at you through Nintendo's lens, where, you know, Odyssey comes out, Breath of the Wild comes out, and it's the fucking best game ever. Like, this is innovated open world games. This is innovated platforming. I mean, the rest of your studios, everyone inside that company is being praised, and everyone loves your game. Animal Crossing comes out, look how well it sells, and people are having fun during a pandemic. That, it's like, you got to think that the guys making Metroid Prime 4 feel the pressure now. Absolutely feel the pressure, because they have to live up to what that is. But at the same time, the guys that are hired might be feeling better about themselves, because, oh my god, what if they hired these guys that made that game? I'm working on the next Metroid game. Okay, that pumps me up. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, I think, to me, it rings a little less likely for that to be the case for a company like Nintendo. And I don't know how Nintendo's internal structure works as far as how they assign different people to work to different games. Like, from the outside, it kind of just looks like a black box of Nintendo that just pumps out, like, a game every now and then. But I don't think Nintendo feels pressure. Like, I think that they put out quality products, but they're not... When they put out games, like you said with Animal Crossing, they're not trying to make it the best version of Animal Crossing. They're putting out a quality product, but like you said, there's like weird stuff about sharing islands. When they put out Mario Party, they don't let you play Mario Party like normally with your friends online. When they put out Smash, their netcode sucks. When they put out, I don't know, like anything, like they're not being pressed to put on that like more technical level of polish. Mario Odyssey, fine. Mario Odyssey's great. Breath of the Wild, absolutely great. Other than that, though, I don't think that Nintendo does feel pressure. I think in a lot of ways they're resting on their laurels. But who knows? Maybe going forward, maybe Metroid Prime 4 won't be that way. Maybe that will be, you know, the pinnacle of Metroid. I hope it is. That'd be cool. I also don't think we're going to see it, but that's a whole nother thing, dude. I have no hope in Metroid Prime 4 at all.
But do you think that will translate as well to Microsoft? I think, like, for a company that is so absolutely, like, parched of energy and just anything going right for the company.
Yeah. Microsoft, I see it happening with more, because as much as, like you said, they're not trying to be Sony is much closer to a direct competitor of theirs than, say, someone like Nintendo has any direct competitors. And so, yeah, I mean, competition breeds innovation, stuff like that. I think that they're not buying these games to pump out, you know, garbageware on their platform. They're buying these companies because they want, you know, a lot of different quality experiences for their consumers. And at least I hope that's the direction they're going. They're not just buying these companies so that they can boast about the number that Game Pass gives you. Like, Game Pass gives you literally 1 billion games, and 3 of them are worth playing. But I don't think that's where I see Microsoft going. I think more likely I see these different studios actually trying to be what you get Game Pass for, even if it is just for like a month or something like that.
I also want to add in that where I think Sony does really well, where I think Microsoft needs to improve, and this isn't even a competition, but the fact that I know Cory Barlog's name, Neil Druckmann's name, Amy Hennig's name, the fact that I know their names and their game directors, Miyazaki, oh fuck, I can't remember. They all sound the same. The fucking the guy who made RE4 and Evil Within. Now this obviously transitions very well into Kojima.
We haven't even talked about Kojima.
Yeah.
But we're also coming up on 2 hours, so.
Yeah. Microsoft, just show where's your talent. You know, who's your big dick director? Because we're looking at Barlog and like, dude, you got us by the balls. You can do whatever you want. Yeah. Amy Hennig, dude, you had me. You're the best. Neil Druckmann, you know, you kind of tore my balls off at Last of Us 2, but you had me at 1.
But you got it in you, kid.
You got it in you. Yeah. I would like to say, obviously, like, they just acquired a whole bunch of talent at Bethesda. So what if Kojima's like, yeah, I'll make a fucking exclusive for you guys. It's like, yeah, oh, Konami, you'll get the rights for Konami for the Silent Hill game I want to make? Imagine they surprise us with that.
Yeah.
It's like, hi. Norman Reedus just pops up. No way.
Be a fucking... Oh, that'd be so bad for Sony. Be so bad. So bad.
It's weird. I agree, Mike. I think it would be bad for Sony in a sense because of the partnership, but at the same time, Kojima's got to get work where he's got to get work at this point because he got so fucked by Konami. So if Microsoft
it would be worse for Sony than it would be good for Microsoft.
In what way? Because I think Sony would understand that what happened. I mean, he's got to work, and if Microsoft's offering him the money, the lucrative money,
even if they understand it, that doesn't mean it's not going to hurt them.
Yeah, they want him working for them, and they can't pay this. I mean, Microsoft could way highball whatever offer Sony makes to pay him.
True. But it's also that I want to know why would Kojima leave Sony, that ecosystem, and people that he probably knows and worked with for so many years?
Yeah, the cash.
Would it really just be money? Because this guy, I mean, we're talking about a guy with so much artistic integrity.
Yeah, well, what do you want to make? What do you want to make? And we will give you everything you need to make that game. Whatever you want. You can take 15 years to make the game. As long as you stand up on our E3 show floor and smile and wave.
Yeah.
We'll give you a fucking $1 billion. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
I guess we'll wrap up with that, with Jeff Keighley and Kojima, because we know he's probably going to be there.
Oh, yeah, those two have the craziest bromance, yeah.
It might be a little one-sided for me. I think Jeff name drops Kojima a bit more, but...
I guess what I want to know for our last predictions around the horn, do we think Kojima will side with Microsoft? My answer is yes.
I'm going to go, before I say mine, Mike, I want to know why. Besides money, what would attract Kojima over there? Like, what would Phil Spencer say to Kojima? Because it just seems so out of the blue that these rumors popped up that, oh yeah, Kojima to Microsoft. I'm struggling to find a reason for him to leave Sony.
Reach with Game Pass.
Yeah. And plus on PC.
And he can make some artistic shit. Not shit, some artistic thing.
Yeah.
And Phil Spencer saying, man, you got this ready to go in 5 years. Here's our internal numbers. Here's how many subscribers are playing your game. Day one. Here's how many people. And Kojima's just going to wet himself.
Yeah.
20 million people, 30 million people play what did Death Stranding sell? Not 10 million. 3 times that are going to play your game day one, make whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. And that's all games as a
I'd take that
developer.
deal.
Man, holy shit. Yeah, man, sign me up.
That's all a game developer wants to hear.
Sign me up.
Steve? Oh, I guess I'll go. Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
I'm torn on this. I genuinely don't know what Kojima is going to do. I don't know what he wants to do right now. I think he's got it. I think all signs point that yes, he's gonna go to Microsoft. He's gonna do a project with them because he probably wants to work at this point. I think it would that might be the biggest news, bigger than anything Xbox shows on Sunday. If his Jeff Keighley show comes around and says, "Sup, my name's Hideo Kojima and I'm making a game for Xbox."
Crazy.
Like, we would go fucking crazy. We would go crazy. We would be like, oh my god, what the fuck? And then he drops a trailer or something. Like, I'll keep coming again. And it's oh my god. So that would be crazy if that happens. I don't know.
Yes or no? Does it happen?
Yes.
Yes? Oh, Steve. What do you think?
I think if they're giving him Silent Hill to work on, or Silent Hills, then yeah, he's definitely going to take that. But I haven't heard too many rumors. But Mike, when you put an offer like this, I don't know how anyone can refuse. So you know what? We're going 3 for 3 on the Rumble Pack, baby. Kojima will be at the Xbox Showcase, guaranteed by us.
Let's fucking go, boys.
Breaking news.
I'll go quickly wrap up saying that Skate is going to be game of the show.
Yep, obviously.
Yeah.
Right after FIFA, yeah.
So we are planning on should get up if you've made it to the end. We're planning on live streaming the events on Twitch. We're still gonna make a channel, but
yeah, true.
That's our plan. We're all gonna get on for the big shows. We'll get on. I think we're getting on for Jeff Keighley, definitely Nintendo and Bethesda, Microsoft Bethesda. Those are 3 shows we're absolutely gonna live stream. So hopefully we get this out and we'll see some of you guys there.
Yes, sir. See you guys there.
Good stuff, boys.
Alrighty. All right. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Have a good night.